Hello and welcome back to the second part of the 9-3 video series. Today we're going to look at applications of multiplying polynomials. So for example 1, it says write an expression for the area of the shaded region, and then we're going to simplify. So essentially what happens is we have like this big rectangle here, and then we have this little cutout piece from the center, and we want to find the area of all this light green color. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to find the area of the big rectangle. So I'm going to put area, and I'm going to put B for big. Actually, I'll just write that out. So area of the big rectangle, and remember, area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. So in this case, I'm going to have 2x plus 5 times a quantity of 3x plus 1. And if I distribute, I'm going to end up with 2x times 3x, or 6x squared. 2x times 1 is plus 2x. 5 times 3x is plus 15x. And 5 times a positive 1 is plus 5. So when I simplify this, we end up with 6x squared plus 17x plus 5. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of the small rectangle. So the area of my small rectangle, so I'll say area of the small, is going to be, again, length times width. So here I have x plus 2, and I'm going to multiply that by x. So when I distribute, this is going to give me an x squared, and x times 2 is going to give me a positive 2x. So now I know the area of this little cutout region, and I know the area of the green the overall green region. Now I have to find the difference between the two. So I'm going to take this polynomial here and subtract this polynomial from that. So if we do that down below, that's going to give us 6x squared plus 17x plus 5, and I'm going to subtract the quantity of x squared plus 2x. Now remember, with subtraction, I personally like to distribute my negative onto both terms in this case, and then change this to an addition out here. So I have 6x squared plus a negative x squared gives me 5x squared. 17x plus a negative 2x gives me plus 15x. And then I'm just going to bring the 5 down because there's nothing to add or subtract to that, and I get a plus 5. So this right here would be the difference in area, and you could put square units because it is asking for area. For example 4, I would like you to pause the video, try to do this on your own, and then see if you come up with the same thing that I do. The area of my big rectangle is x plus 1 times a quantity of 2x minus 2. And if I distribute that x onto the 2x, I get 2x squared. X times a negative 2 is negative 2x. 1 times 2x is plus 2x. And 1 times a negative 2 is minus 2. I have like terms here in the middle, so if I simplify this, I get 2x squared. My negative 2x and positive 2x are going to cancel, so then I'm going to be left with a minus 2. So this is for the big rectangle. Now I'm going to go ahead and find the area of my small rectangle, which is x times the quantity of x minus 2. So this is going to give me x squared minus 2x. Now I know what the area is of the big rectangle, the area of the small rectangle, and I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 2. So here I have 2x squared I have no x terms, so I'm just going to go plus 0x minus 2. And then for my small rectangle, I have x squared minus 2x, and you don't have any constants, so if you wanted to, you could put a 0, but you don't have to. And I'm going to subtract these two. Again, with subtraction, I'm going to distribute that negative. So this becomes a negative, this negative becomes a positive, and then I can change this to addition. So 2x squared plus a negative x squared gives me a positive x squared. 0x plus 2x is a positive 2x. And then I have this negative 2 plus 0, which is negative 2. So the area of the green shaded region is going to be x squared plus 2x minus 2. And again, you could put square units since we do not know what the units are. The last type of example that I would like to look at is multiplying a trinomial by a binomial. Remember, trinomials have 3 terms, binomials have 2. So this is really no different than the distribution property. You cannot use the FOIL method when you're dealing with trinomials, and I think we mentioned that in the previous video, but you can still use a distribution method. So for distribution, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 4x squared and we're going to multiply it by the 2x. So this is going to give us 8x to the third. Then I have 4x times a negative 3, which is a negative 12x. So my 4x squared term has been distributed onto everything in the binomial. Now I'm going to look at my x term, and I have x times 2x, which is going to give me a positive 2x squared. X times a negative 3 is minus 3x. And then for the negative 6, I have negative 6 times 2, which is minus 12x. And negative 6 times a negative 3 is a positive 18. So now I've distributed all 3 terms of my trinomial onto the 2 terms of my binomial. And the only thing I'm left doing now is to clean up and simplify like terms. So I've got one x cubed term. So I have 8x cubed. I have 2 x squared terms. When I did my 4x squared and I distributed it onto my negative 3, that should have been a negative 12x squared. So I have 2x and a negative 12x squared. So that gives me a negative 10x squared. And then I have negative 12x and a negative 3x is going to give me a negative 15x. And then I'm left with just my 18 on the end. So that becomes plus 18. So now I have a polynomial of the 3rd degree, and it's written in standard form because it goes x cubed, x squared, x, and then my constant. Go ahead and take a quick second, pause the video, and try this one on your own. Now that you have your answer, let's work this out real quick. Here I have the binomial placed in front, which is usually my preference is if I can rearrange it. So I have 2x times 3x squared is going to give me 6x to the third. 2x times a negative 2x is negative 4x squared. And 2x plus 3 times 3 is going to give me plus 6x. Then I'm going to go through and distribute my 7 onto everything. 7 times 3x squared is plus 21x squared. Now the reason I like to put my binomial in the front is because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go plus 21x squared, and I can just line my terms up. I have 7 times a negative 2, which is a minus 14x. And then I have 7 times a positive 3, which is a positive 21. So now what I can do is I can just go ahead and add these straight up. So I'm left with 6x cubed plus 17x squared, and then 6x minus 14x is a negative 8x, plus 21. And this would be our final answer for multiplying a binomial and a trinomial together. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks and have a great day.